Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. International manager backs £12 million Arsenal player after penalty nightmare. Arsenal midfielder Jorginho missed another penalty last night as Italy cruised to a win over North Macedonia to edge closer to Euro 2024. The Azzurri now face Ukraine in a bid to confirm their place in the tournament. Italy have a wealth of talent at their disposal, both experienced and young. Of course, Arsenal star Jorginho is on the more experienced end of the scale and over the years has had a good record from the penalty spot. However, he has missed a few now and that continued last night. But speaking about Jorginho after the game, Italy boss Luciano Spalletti has confirmed he has told Jorginho he will be taking the next one, to which the Arsenal man has agreed. A lot has already been made of this before the game, so it was just typical that Italy did get a pen. Jorginho missed, but Spalletti has said it makes no difference and he still wants the £12 million midfielder on duty from 12 yards. He said, "Congratulations must be given to him because the goalkeeper was very good at making him believe he had a gap. He didn't angle much. Jorginho remains a special penalty taker for Italy. He is fine because he played a great game, because he won a delicate game. I told him he will kick the next one, and he said yes." Whether or not Jorginho would be afforded such duty at Arsenal, though, is another question. Bukayo Saka has been doing well from the spot, and captain Martin Odegaard has also taken them. Jorginho might be the senior statesman for the Italians, but at the Emirates, he is very much down the pecking order in terms of penalty kicks. Arsenal player told to follow Harry Maguire's lead. Graeme Souness has given his verdict on Arsenal and England international goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale amid his current situation. The Liverpool legend has said that Ramsdale needs to follow the example of Manchester United central defender Harry Maguire. So what has Graeme Souness said about Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale? Let's take a look. Well, according to Graeme Souness, Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale should look at Harry Maguire and follow the example of the Manchester United and England international central defender. The Liverpool legend has noted how Maguire is starting to play again for United after almost leaving the Red Devils in the summer of 2023. The Pundit believes that Ramsdale needs to be patient during this tough period and has urged him not to let his father fight for him in the media. Ramsdale has lost his place in the Arsenal starting lineup. Manager Mikel Arteta prefers David Raya to the England international now, Souness wrote in the Daily Mail. It's time for Aaron Ramsdale to do his own fighting rather than his dad doing it for him after his appearance on a podcast this week. The Arsenal goalkeeper has to show what he is made of and deal with the situation in which he finds himself. Mikel Arteta fancies David Raya more than he does Ramsdale right now, but that can change. I would ask him to look at the example of Harry Maguire. He took all the criticism on the chin, all the disappointment, he dealt with it and finds himself back in the team at Manchester United. Scott McTominay too. He was being pushed out the door at the start of the season and now he is in the side. That's football. For Ramsdale, this is a tough mental challenge. He cannot point to anything he's done wrong on a consistent basis that has cost him his place in the team. Sport at the highest level can be cruel and can be seen to be unfair, but there is only one person who can right that perceived injustice, and it's not Ramsdale's dad. Pundit says £27 million Arsenal player could become the best in the world. Arsenal have a number of young players on their books at the moment who could be headed to the top. The likes of Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli are incredibly exciting players with the brightest of futures, but perhaps the most promising player on the Gunners' books is William Saliba. The 22-year-old is already one of the best defenders in the Premier League, and speaking on the Game Football podcast, Gregor Robertson has claimed that Saliba has what it takes to become the best in the world. Robertson was discussing who the best players in the world are and if there are any centre backs who can come into that conversation. Interestingly, Robertson named Saliba as the player he thinks could eventually become one of the best players in the world, claiming that he has a Virgil van Dijk type quality about him. Robertson shared his verdict on the £27 million man. He said, I think someone like Saliba could come into that conversation. He combines this towering strength with this elegance, which is very rare. You have to be exceptional and so much better if a striker is impactful. They are scoring 30 a season. A defender has to be like Van Dijk was at his peak there, on a different plane, imperious, that's rare. I think Saliba could get to that point, but he is not there yet. Poland's national media delivers interesting reaction to Arsenal star Jakub Kivier's performance last night. Arsenal star Jakub Kiwior started for Poland against the Czech Republic last night, and he has received mixed reviews from his country's media. Poland hosted the Czech at the National Stadium in Warsaw last night in the UEFA Euros qualifiers. A win would have taken them to second in the table, but Kiwior and co could only manage a draw. The Arsenal defender had an interesting game. Arsenal signed Jakub Kiwior from Italian side Spezia for £20 million in January this year. The Pole is a terrific talent. He is incredibly calm on the ball, very fast, fantastic in possession, and he has impressed almost every time he has played for the Gunners over the last 10 months. Kiwior earned his 17th international cap for Poland last night. It was a difficult fixture, and the Arsenal man showed both the good and bad sides of his game. The 23-year-old made a mistake very early that almost cost the host. Arsenal old boy Chesney saved the day. Then in the second half, he made another silly error inside his own box. Luckily, Poland got away with that too. Apart from that, Kiwior had a good game. He was calm and commanding on the ball, and even saved the game late on by blocking Alex Kral's strike that could have gone in and cost Poland the game. Jakub Kiwior is by no means the first choice at Arsenal, which is why he has been heavily linked with a move away on loan in January. AC Milan are said to be keen to sign the Pole, while Jose Mourinho wants him to join Roma until the end of the season. Arsenal are also said to be leaning towards being open to letting Kiwior go out on loan and get regular game time if a good opportunity arises. It will be interesting to see what will happen, but we think keeping hold of Kiwior makes the most sense, especially after what happened in the Premier League title race when William Saliba got injured last season. Arsenal want £25 million talent, who is one of the best defender midfielder prospect around. Arsenal have reportedly set their sights on Corinthians prodigy Gabriel Moscardo. Out of Side have reported that the Gunners are indeed one of the potential suitors for the 18-year-old midfielder. Moscardo fits the profile that Arsenal are looking for in the market, and Edo is keeping him in mind, added the report. Better still, the player himself does have the intention to make a big move to Europe at some juncture. Now, for the bad news as far as Arsenal are concerned, the Gunners are set to face fierce competition from the likes of Chelsea and Barcelona. Apparently, the Blues are in constant contact with Moscardo's camp, while Barca's Deco is a big admirer of the youngster. A different report in the Evening Standard recently claimed that Liverpool are also keeping tabs on Moscardo. The player remains fully focused on the remainder of the Brazilian top-flight season, which ends in December. Apparently, Corinthians have set the initial price tag at £25 million. Arsenal could certainly do with bolstering their midfield ranks in January. Thomas Partey's fitness remains under scrutiny, and there have also been reports alluding to a potential move away in January. Meanwhile, Kai Havertz and Fabio Vieira haven't exactly pulled up many trees during their time at the Emirates Stadium. Moscardo is a great shoot as an Arsenal target, as he looks like a star for the future. Arsenal now want to sign £17.5 million goal-scoring centre-back. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal want to sign Jarek Gaziorovski from Valencia. That's according to us, which has claimed a potential hurdle for Arsenal to get a deal done for the central defender. So, what is being reported about Arsenal and Jarek Gaziorovski? Let's take a look. Well, according to us, Arsenal are among the clubs interested in signing Jarek from Valencia. The report in the Spanish publication has claimed that Arsenal have regularly scouted Gaziorovski. The defender has come through the Valencia Youth Academy and is now playing for the first team. Gaziorovski has made 3 substitute appearances in La Liga this season. The 18-year-old scored a hat-trick for the Spain under-19 side against their Moldova counterparts on Wednesday. The teenager now has 5 goals in 16 matches for the Spain youth teams. AS has noted that there is a release clause of €20 million in Gaziorovski's contract. The report, though, has stated that it's not going to be easy for Arsenal to get a deal done. Real Madrid are one of the clubs who are scouting the teenager and have been impressed with him. Barcelona, Juventus, and Borussia Dortmund are also interested in Gaziorovski. I believe that Arsenal could struggle to get a deal done with Valencia for Jarek in the January transfer window or in the summer of 2024. First of all, Arsenal may not be willing to pay €20 million in transfer fees for Gaziorovski. True, the Spanish defender is a very talented and promising young player, but he is just 18 now. I do not think that the Gunners should be paying over £17 million for a player who is still a prospect. Arsenal are now challenging for the Premier League title and are competing in the UEFA Champions League. The Gunners need established and experienced players who can make an immediate impact. Arsenal already have a young centre-back in Jakub Kiwior. I do not think that the Gunners should invest more money in another young defender unless they sell Jakub Kiwior. Arsenal want £42 million player to replace Thomas Partey in January. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal want to sign Calvin Phillips from Pep Guardiola's Manchester City to replace Thomas Partey. That's according to Tutto Juve, which has claimed Partey's stance on his Arsenal future. So, what is being reported about Arsenal, Calvin Phillips, and Thomas Partey? Let's take a look. Well, according to Tutto Juve, Arsenal are looking at Manchester City midfielder Calvin Phillips as a potential replacement for Thomas Partey. Partey has had injury problems this season, but the former Atletico Madrid star has struggled to start regularly even when he has been fit. The Italian news outlet has claimed that the Ghanaian star would like to leave Arsenal in the January transfer window. Juventus are interested in signing Partey in the middle of the season. Tutto Juve has claimed that Juventus are also keen on Phillips, adding that Arsenal want to sign the England international to replace Partey. I do not think that Arsenal would find it easy to sign Calvin Phillips from a Premier League rivals Manchester City in the January transfer window. Yes, Phillips could leave City due to a lack of playing time. There is speculation that Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta personally wants the £42 million England midfielder at the Emirates Stadium, and the 27-year-old himself could find the prospect of joining Arsenal appealing. Phillips plays with Declan Rice for England, and the two players could star for Arsenal as well. However, I have to point out that City may not be willing to send Phillips to Arsenal in the middle of the season, even on a loan deal. After all, City will be well aware that Arsenal are one of their main challengers for the Premier League title this season, if not the main one. I believe that City manager Pep Guardiola will be wary of selling yet another of his players to Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko are former City players who have made Arsenal better and have perhaps even transformed us. Arsenal really want target, says Fabrizio Romano. Though they have begun the first part of the 23-24 season well, Mikel Arteta is clearly intent on ensuring Arsenal continue to bring in the best talent to push the team forward. The Spaniard almost brought the Premier League title back to the Emirates Stadium last season, and with the end of the current campaign being the 20th anniversary of the Invincibles season, the last time the Gunners won the English top flight title, the narrative is already there for the football romantics. With the January transfer window on the horizon, Arteta will be hopeful of making a splash in the transfer market again, with one player above all others on his radar. However, as Fabrizio Romano noted, speaking to Out of Sight for his exclusive daily briefing column, it's not an easy deal to do. He said, I mentioned the name of Douglas Luiz last week as the top target for Arsenal, and I can confirm, guys, that Arsenal really want and appreciate Douglas Luiz. He's a player they have had on their list for more than 2 years, and Arsenal consider him the perfect midfielder for their way of playing, for his intensity, and for the quality he can bring. So many different factors make him top of the list for Arsenal now. The problem remains that Aston Villa have no intention to let him go in January, so it's going to be really difficult. The player's will is likely to ultimately decide which way this particular pursuit will go. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.